the less reactive I am, the more peaceful I become, and the more I get done. It's a very, very powerful equation. And I actually wrote about something very different, because I normally will record a video like this on the subject that I've blogged about earlier in the day. But I woke up with a bit of a start, actually, because I encountered a text message from somebody, from the plumber, arranging to do some work. And this particular conversation, the way it hit me, was a bit confusing, because I thought that we'd already discussed all of the elements, and I reacted in quite an ungenerous kind of way, because this particular plumber is just so busy, unbelievably busy, working all the time, all hours of the day and the week. So I felt a little bit ungenerous afterwards, but the conclusion I came to at the time was that people have got so much going on that their brains are fried. But I had my breakfast and went for my walk to Bakewell to have actually a really pivotal feeling therapy session today, in fact, because the last one, normally I go weekly, but the last one was 2 weeks ago, because my therapist was visiting his son up in Scotland, in Edinburgh. Fabulous place if you ever decide to go. And so all of the things that I've been learning and the stuff that I've done in that 2 weeks had the opportunity to settle and integrate, and I felt far more peaceful through doing that. And when my parents visited recently to sort out things with the house that they're buying, the interactions with them were far more peaceful and together. And this is the point, that when you actually start to sort your shit out, what really happens is you understand what really matters, and very little actually matters. And I may have mentioned it, but I had a really beautiful Google meeting with my two friends from Twitter. And there's a particular project that I've wanted to do for a while with my YouTube shorts. And in the conversation I had, the extended conversation, one of the men left, and the extended conversation I had with the other one had a very, very satisfying result, because I said, look, I've been meaning to do this project with a YouTube short for ages, and we sort of acted as accountability buddies to set a deadline and just to get it done. And I said, I'm going to get it done by the end of the month, and I've done it. And I said that I would send the video over to him for him to give it the once over, and obviously he was very, very nice, because he's an adorable and sweet man that I'm very, very grateful to be friends with, my good friend Riley. And that experience, he set me on a path of actually getting a lot of other jobs done, that all of it has culminated in, for me, a far greater sense of my own resolve and abilities. And so, as I say, I've been very, very productive and getting lots of satisfying things done, and living with the consequence of that, living in the energy of completeness. And I went to my usual cafe in Bakewell, and there's a row of tables, 3 tables, where I normally sit. They were all taken today. So I sat at the other side of the cafe, and there was this very sweet lady, very sweet looking lady, looking over at me with a faint kind of Mona Lisa smile. It was very aesthetic. And she reminded me of my mum, very similar pretty features, very attractive lady, well dressed. And I was curious, because I could, we were both looking at each other, and we were inquisitive, which I like. And what actually happened was as she was leaving, she walked over to me really, really decisively. And I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be exciting. What's going to happen here? And she said, I just want to let you know, because she had a very, very subtle French accent. You have a wonderful energy. And I said, oh, thank you. That's really nice. And I said, well, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. And she said, no, you have a wonderful energy and it really matters, you know. And with that, I said, oh, thank you. And with that, she left. So it was a very brief encounter, but a really meaningful one, a very heartwarming encounter. And this is what I mean by deciding what's really important. And human connection is the most important thing in the world that we can have. I'm just going to change the background for you there. It's beautiful blue skies. Just had a lovely downpour of rain, and I feel very grateful for all of these things. There's a lot of beauty in the world, not just physical or, you know, natural beauty, but beauty between humans, those lovely interactions. And that particular interaction with the lady in the cafe has made me realize that I'm far more integrated. I'm more in touch with who I am and feeling myself. And that opportunity is available to you at all times. And I am an optimistic and naturally kind person. I enjoy being kind with people because everybody needs it. We need to feel like we belong together, and we are the human race. And whatever you can do to move the needle towards more togetherness and peacefulness, which comes with humility, that we don't know all of the answers to everything, but at any given moment we have the ability to have each other. I think it's a very important realization that the world needs to make. There are always going to be different groups, and we have different beliefs, and there are certain things that are always going to be like oil and water, but that won't mix. But that's always been the case. It's always going to be the case for whatever reason. And when we live in reality and we understand that everybody deep down requires the same things, we have an ability to actually shape that in the here and now, in the local sphere. And I feel really touched by that experience, because even though it was something that she really wanted to say, that her heart was overflowing, she didn't actually have to do that. And it was a very, very generous thing of her to do. But it resulted from me feeling generosity of spirit to my fellow man and woman. And she came over and she gave me that wonderful gift. And I feel very human about the whole thing. Always remember that we are human beings. We're not wild animals. We are capable of fantastic things, of beautiful love for one another. And you can say that that sounds corny, but when somebody comes over and does that, it shows that the human spirit can overcome a lot of things. And it's quite a brave thing to do for a total stranger to come over and say that. And I accept it wholeheartedly. And I wish that lady a really lovely day. And I wish you too, my friends, a wonderful day wherever and whenever you see this. Keep being human, keep being who you authentically are, and great things will happen.